Recreational cannabis becomes legal in New Mexico in just under 2 weeks. It's a brave new world as the state begins the unique process of building a brand new industry. Already there are concerns about conflicts of interest for lawmakers who will continue to make decisions about that industry. Namely, we recently learned of one of the sponsors of the Cannabis Legalization Act, Katie Duhigg, will be starting up a full-service cannabis law firm. Now, Ms. Duhigg says she wasn't thinking about the possibility when she sponsored the bill, and that she will disclose any potential conflicts of interest in this area moving forward. But TJ, are these situations inevitable across many sectors as long as we cling to a citizen legislature?
What are you asking? Are you asking the dude that smokes a lot of weed? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I am.
First, is that why you're doing this?
Yes.
You're picking on me. No, I'm kidding. Listen. Well, yeah. I mean, and this is the thing that people don't like politicians for. This is one of the reasons. And even if there's a hint of corruption, that's where it's going to go. And I don't know what the law is right now. I don't know if this was proposed or not.
Can I ask you a question? Are we being a little heavy-handed here with the corruption word? I'm not quite sure what she's proposing. Gets to that level.
Anyway,
all right.
As far as cannabis goes, or anything else for that matter, right? I mean, should there be a time limit on legislators in New Mexico or anywhere else for that matter profiting from a law that they worked on, a cannabis law, for instance, or any other new law for that matter? Doesn't have to be cannabis, it could be any other thing. Should the legislators be allowed to profit for that on that immediately? Or should there be a year wait, 2 years wait? What do you think?
Let me kick that to the senator. We did have Stuart Engel propose and pass that lawmakers, the ban any lawmaker from applying for a license until at least 2026. Does that do anything, Ms. Feldman? Because there's lots of ways to get in the business if you want to without being one of these license holders, if you get my drift here.
Well, just let me address TJ's comment, and that is there is a law that prohibits lawmakers from profiting from a bill that they pass. It's in the Governmental Conduct Act. And but the bigger question is the smell test, which is what you were referring to, and the fact that if it doesn't smell right, people lose trust in government. And our system here, where we have a citizens legislature, that's conflict of interest is just baked into the system, regardless of whether it's cannabis or whether it's oil and gas or whether it's insurance, real estate. So many of the legislators are in those fields. And it's accepted that they will vote on those issues when it does not profit them personally. And for the most part, they uphold this. But, they're on the honor system. Now we have an ethics commission. And I think now is the time that the Ethics Commission needs to weigh in on all of this. And we need a constitutional amendment to allow legislators to be paid so this doesn't keep coming up again and again and again. And the legislators can't legislate that themselves. Right. That's a conflict of interest right there. So there has to be a constitutional amendment. And then I think the Ethics Commission is positioned to figure out, the X, Y, and Z of that matter.
Just a point of fact for Inez Russell Gomez, you know this, but Senator Candelaria and Speaker of the House Brian Egolf both have representative medical cannabis folks. And, in the past, they've made these conflicts known or they've sat out votes. You know what I mean? And that sits well for some folks, but are you in agreement with Senator Feldman that it's got to be something beyond just an honor system here?
No, our position is that we should pay citizen legislators, or we should pay legislators so that they are compensated fairly and the conflicts aren't as obvious and as frequent.
Right.
But beyond that, if you have a legislature where you're basically working out of your own pocket and you get paid only a per diem and mileage, it really limits who can be in the legislature. So if you're young and starting a family and you can't take time off work, but you're brilliant and have all sorts of policy ideas, wouldn't that be a great person to be in the legislature, but perhaps they can't afford it? So you end up having a legislature full of retired state employees, insurance, real estate, defense attorneys, and even sometimes, people who work for Lanel and all of those kinds of things. And there's conflicts. The cannabis one is so obvious and new, but there is a million conflicts every day. And I don't know that money and a salary will protect them from everything, in addition to the fact that you'd have to figure out, is it going to be a full-time legislature, a hybrid legislature? But people should be compensated for their work. And right now, our New Mexico legislature is not compensated. So we start from that, and then we can work out how to eliminate more conflicts.
Well, the idea is, TJ, of paying our legislators is not new, certainly. In fact, it comes up every year in the Roundhouse. But I'm curious if these revelations about conflicts of interest in the cannabis industry specifically might end up being a tipping point here. Because, again, the smell test, as Senator Feldman mentioned, may not sit too well with a lot of the public.
Right. The problem with issues like this and so many other issues, and I don't even think it's, Gene, I don't think it's just cannabis. I think if you dig deeper into this, it's pretty much everything under the sun.
Hey, we have teachers in the legislature who are voting on teacher raises and voting on school budgets. Conflict of interest?
Exactly.
Maybe,
we need full disclosure. If you're in the state legislature, you need to let people know if you're going to be working or voting on a bill, where your interests lie. You may need to make that knowledge known before you even begin working on whatever you're going to be working on. Just let people know ahead of time, look, I'm involved in the oil and gas industry. I'm going to be working on this specific issue. Should I or should I not? Let people know. Let people know. I mean, don't try to hide it, or don't even. I'm not saying you're hiding it on purpose. Just even the illusion that you're hiding it is bad.
Yeah, Senator, we just got a minute here, and I'm just curious. I got to flip this around just a little bit. What is honestly the matter with Ms. Duhigg getting into the private sector and trying to make a buck? I mean, honestly, is it that bad that she should be disallowed from getting into the industry completely?
No, but I think this is exactly what Inez was talking about. And that is, here you have 3 young lawyers, right? Katie Duhigg, Jacob Candelaria, and Brian Egoff. They're out to make a living in addition to being legislators. And so it's natural that these conflicts are going to come up. Of course, it's different when you already have a client and you already, are working in an industry, and then you're asked to vote on it, rather than, changing your business plan after that legislative session has ended. That's different than already having a conflict going in. So it's got to be changed. Disclosure is now required, but it's not really enforced fully by the Secretary of State. It needs to be. Much fuller, and even the perception. Here's what we're talking about here. The perception is what's important here. So, unfortunately, elected officials have to hold themselves to a higher standard. It's not fair. But comes with the territory, too.
I bet. That's all the time we have right now on this topic, but there is still plenty more to talk about when it comes to the cannabis industry. This week, I had a chance to talk with Albuquerque city leaders about their struggle to come up with planning and zoning rules and regulations for cannabis businesses. You can see that full conversation on our Facebook page at NM in Focus.